You already know the rules. When you come in my house, take off your shoes and super violate that like button. It don't cost you nothing to hit that like button. Shall we begin? Shall we begin?
Do you have that in front of you?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution.
Let the record record that the witness has refused to answer whether there's a folder in front of him based on his Fifth Amendment right. Have you refused this pardon, or do you have any reason to believe this full and unconditional pardon, this grant of immunity, would somehow require you to plead the Fifth Amendment?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution.
Do you still refuse to answer the questions?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution.
Were you ever made aware of gain-of-function research on monkeypox being conducted at the National Biodefense Analysis and Countermeasure Center and back at Fort Detrick?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution.
Dr. Fauci, did the CIA ever transfer funds to NIH under an interagency agreement?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution.
Questions. Dr. Fauci, did the NIH ever conduct research for or in coordination with any element of the intelligence community, CIA, ODNI?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Saying, who the think you were for doing that? It is a total disgrace what you did to this country. Those policies were put in place because you had moronic politicians that listened to the words of a megalomaniac who was more interested in having met a Kardashian than the suffering of the American people. There is no defense of what you did. You may have had a 50-plus year legacy of public service, but it ends in total and complete disgrace. So let me ask you an opportunity to answer one question. Will you apologize, just apologize, to the people who you harmed through your actions? Will you say, do you have the dignity to just say you're sorry?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
It's no secret why you have to hire the biggest dirtbag attorney on the planet, because of what you did. I hope you're paying him well. And I hope that one way or the other, somewhere, sometime, you answer for your crimes.
Dr. Fauci, you admitted in your own diary that COVID was nothing more than a flu. Do you regret shutting the world down? Are you ever going to admit that you killed millions of people through your poison shots? When are you going to take responsibility for your mishandling of COVID? When are you going to take responsibility for your mishandling of COVID, Dr. Fauci?
Dr. Fauci he pleads the Fifth. How do I feel about that? Let's take it back to memory lane. When my mother being in the hospital, fighting for her life. And the hospitals stopped letting people in because of COVID. There was days I couldn't get in the hospital to see my mother. And when she finally woke up out of that coma she was in, she was telling me about how the hospital she was in was mistreating her. The staff was mistreating her. And some of the staff was even pulling her phone out of the wall and hiding her cell phone so she couldn't call home. After she passed away, we was limited, the people that could come to her funeral. Some of her closest friends and family couldn't even make it to the funeral because of their stipulations where you had to social distance. Funeral homes was restricted the amount, a certain amount to a certain amount of people that you could actually let see. Family members and friends couldn't say goodbye to other family members and friends because there was a short list. So many people died right after taking that vaccine. And on social media, we couldn't even mention that vaccine because our channels would be taken. We'd have seen so many people pass away. But they made it illegal for us to connect the dots to COVID-19 or to accuse or say it was COVID-19. And now we sit up here and we watching Fauci on the stand plead the fifth. How do I feel about that? You know what it feels like to actually have discussions, like with my wife. I had to tell her the only reason why I'm minding my business, and not even so much minding my business, but just letting her make her own decision on whether she was going to take that vaccine, was because I know she had a career that she worked hard for, and I didn't want to become the enemy to her losing her job. So I had to let her make that choice. But at the same time, inside my house, I felt like I had no power. I felt like I was less than a man because there was nothing I can do about her getting on that line, going to see a doctor, and being poked up like a goddamn guinea pig. Are you not entertained? I don't find nothing funny about this. As Americans, how do the courts or anybody tell us that he has immunity from what he did to our families? People all over the world was affected by this foolishness. As Americans, how do we let anybody in authority right now, when all of them have been accused of the worst of the worst of the worst you could ever be accused of, tell us that he has immunity for crimes against humanity? Words couldn't describe how I feel about him, what he did, what he stand for. And the crazy part about it is, they're not even done. They still telling you that the world population is getting ready to come to a close end. We survived COVID, but will we survive the water shortage that's to come? The food shortage that's to come? They're not even done yet. Add on some tsunamis, some earthquakes, them blocking out the sun, them playing with our food. If y'all support my videos, I need y'all to hit that like button, and I need y'all to get a little bit more active in the comment section. Y'all gotta forgive me on this one because I'm choked up and I'm angry. That nigga helped play a part in turning my mother's TV off, and a lot of other people's family members. And stand right in front of our faces and plead the fifth. Y'all hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that subscribe button. And pay attention to your circle before they hurt you. Live life as if you're on a run. And stay dangerous at the same time. I'm out.